All right, YouTube, here we go. Update number 8. So it's been a couple rough weeks with the harness. So I spot worked on it, skipped around. It just got aggravating. I had fuel gauge issues, so got the leaf springs all bolted in. This one's a little forward. I may push it back. On the blue Chevy with the 37s, I do hit the rear part of the front fender, the running board. So I'm gonna see what this is like when I do put the aluminum running boards back on it. I may move it back. I've got space to move it back, but I'm hoping it all works fine. That way that shackle there doesn't go back any further. Previously, it just wasn't sitting right. But it's all bolted in, torqued down. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do new brake lines, which is no big deal. The back, I did do the 0 rate off-road design style. It wasn't bad. You know, I had to get longer bolts for the 11 leaf spring pack, even though this is only the 9 that I have on here, but you know, it doesn't have the helper springs. The 0 rate, I moved it back an inch. You know, I tried to center up the wheel as much as possible, even though I want the backswing to go backwards. You know, still need to find a set of 35s or 37s. I don't think I'll do 37s, but we'll see how it goes. For this being an 88 cab fuel injected, I was having a lot of issues with the fuel gauge. You know, beforehand, it was killing me with the with the headlights. Turned out to be a bad wire in that fuse panel. This here, I got that figured out, did a video about it. Still couldn't get the fuel gauge to work, got the volt gauge to work, got the oil pressure gauge to work. Still was fighting the fuel gauge. I did run the 86 frame harness because I just want the pumps to pull, or the sending units to pull fuel like the blue Chevy did or does. I don't want the electric fuel pumps. And also that harness was chewed up so bad. I don't know why. It was more Mickey Mouse wiring done on there. It was pretty aggravating. This here, a buddy of mine, Rob, a lot of appreciation to him. This harness comes out of a 86 truck, or, you know, in my case, I had the 86 crew cab. That harness, it pulls its power from the yellow wire to the fuse block. The black wire goes to down here onto the grounding system. And then the green wires go back to the transfer pump. It's not a pump, but transfer selector. If you notice this switch, the indention, see that indention back here? That's there. And then I have an old one that I tore apart. The indention's up here. This is a fuel injection one, and this is another 86. So I thought I had it licked by getting that harness, put it in, and it still didn't have any luck. So I felt defeated with it. Sat there and talked to my brother for a while, and I said I'm gonna go back out there and get the cab harness for behind the dash out of the 86. So that's what I went and did, because I mean, I follow pink wires galore, and I just couldn't get anywhere. I don't know what I was missing on that fuel injection harness. So I went, pulled the fuel injection harness out, saw a lot of bad Mickey Mouse stuff in there, and then I put this harness in, and next thing you know, the fuel gauge worked perfect. That switch is not the best in the world, so I know I have to get a different one. with this back down. I did run the diesel fuel only one for this versus where the blue Chevys, I don't think it even says anything. It might say unleaded. I also wanted more lighting over here. You know, I got all the cab lights going. Every light works on the truck. So I went ahead and added that one, the one that's blinding me to death. Just because I wanted more lighting over here. I know the carpet looks rough. I probably will replace it down the road, but until I get all this worked out, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I wish I could explain to you why that fuel injection dash harness wouldn't work, but I can't. I YouTubed it and YouTubed it. I Googled it. Me and my brother, we followed wiring schematics. I don't know what we weren't seeing, but all I can tell you is if you got a fuel injection harness and you're not running the fuel injection harness to the tanks, if you've got the answer, I'd love to know. But I'm not going to swap back out because that other harness was chewed up so bad. I found a bunch of wires that I don't even know what they went to, and they were just cut and dangling, which, you know, when we drove this truck back, everything worked except the actual transfer tank pumps worked. But if you went over a bunch of bumps, you were constantly switching it back and forth. So we got that working. And then as far as the power windows and door locks, that was the simplest part. And me and my little brother were worried that, you know, that was going to be integrated into this old harness, but it's not. There is a few plugs underneath by the throttle pedal that you have to unplug, or I unplugged that you didn't have to, but it's a standalone system for that. So if somebody ever wanted to convert their truck over to a power window truck, it's very easy. I mean, you can get all of this out. The hardest part for me was because I had the clutch in the way, the clutch pedal. I just pulled it off from over there, snaked it around, unbolted the one piece off of the, let me see if you can see this, where that relay is. I unbolted that and then just pulled it back up through here, and it drops down. And I did have to have my daughter help me feed it out of here, but it went right back in the same way, and went perfect. No complaints. Like I said, I was super happy that it worked, and I can't explain why, but it did. So today I got the factory style slave cylinder, or the hydraulic fluid for the clutch. And then if you notice right here, there's actually a nipple in there, an indention, 3 indentions, and you just drill them out, and then that goes in there. They're already preset. Again, you know, my buddy Rob was able to tell me that. I did use the step bit from Harbor Freight. Wasn't the best, but for a couple bucks, it worked. You know, I won't use it very often. And then to bleed it out, again, I had to call my buddy Rob because I couldn't figure out how to bleed out that slave cylinder. So if you've never done it, what I could tell you is just unbolt it. Once the reservoir is full of fluid, put the cap on, a mistake by me, and just hand pump it, and then next thing you know, it'll work perfect. I bled it one time, got a couple bubbles in, and wasn't able to get anything else out, even by pumping the clutch. He says you can't do it. So that's all in, bolted up. So I will leave the dash apart. I'm hoping to get the front windshield in within the next 2 weeks. I'm just gonna keep working on the harness. You know, I'll zip tie all this up, make it look pretty, and then at the very end I'll put it in wire loom just so it looks nice and clean. It's going good, guys. It's just slow trying to convert all of it over, but I hope I got all my gremlins out. Once I get that up there done, I'm gonna redo the back on the tail lights, that harness, because I'm gonna run the 7-pin so I can, run a bigger trailer and have my electric brakes working. If anybody has questions about that fuel system, I'm not the best, but I figured it out. Can't explain how, but like I said, that's all I got, guys. We're gonna keep going. All right. Thanks, YouTube.